It's time for KRGV Channel 5's Masterminds, a program geared towards Valley High School academics. With your host, Tim Smith. Today, Sharyland Pioneer High School and Lopez High School match wits in their quest to become this year's Masterminds champions.
Hello everybody, welcome to Masterminds, round one competition today. Brownsville Lopez and Sharyland Pioneer, and let's get right to it with our quick start questions for today. You need your buzzers on this, we're all playing. Here we go. What are the prime factors of 12? Sharyland Pioneer Luke.
3 and 2.
Correct. Spell deceitful. Lopez Angie.
D-E-C-E-I-T-F-U-L.
That's correct. Compute the fraction and reduce to lowest fractional terms 1/3 minus 1/6. Lopez Leo.
1/6.
Correct. What's the value of the cosine of pi? Lopez Leo.
-1.
Correct. Name the two oceans located at longitude 180. Lopez Leo.
Pacific and Atlantic.
No. Pioneer, anybody? All right, Luke.
Pacific and Arctic.
Correct. The branch of geology concerned with the study of rocks is called what? Pioneer Julio.
Geology.
No? Lopez, anybody? Ring in if you know. Time is up. Petrology. Which of Khalil Gibran's books is considered his masterpiece? And time is up. The Prophet. Name the Confederate general who was accidentally killed by his own men. That's Pioneer Julio.
Stonewall Jackson.
That's correct. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger served which president? That's Sharyland Julio.
Richard Nixon.
That's correct. What Rocky Mountain State contains the National Elk Refuge, the winter home of a large herd? Sharyland Pioneer Julio.
Colorado.
No? Lopez, anybody?
Montana.
Ring in first? Okay, Angie.
Montana.
No, it's Wyoming. It's Wyoming. And that wraps up our quick start for today.
Masterminds is supported in part by Navy Army Community Credit Union.
So after our quick start, it is Sharyland Pioneer 40, Brownsville Lopez 30. Let's meet our judges who are here today. From the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, please welcome Dr. Megan Burke, Associate Professor of History and Graduate Coordinator in the College of Liberal Arts, and Dr. Noreen Rivera, Assistant Professor in the Department of Literatures and Cultural Studies. Give our judges a big round of applause, please. Thanks for being here. All right, it's almost time for Hot Topics, but before we do that, let's meet the team for Sharyland Pioneer. We'll start with Julio.
Hi, my name is Julio. I am in UIL Current Events, Social Studies, and LD Debate. Last year, I was the state runner-up in the state.
Okay.
Fantastic. Welcome.
My name is Christine. I'm a junior at Pioneer. I do UIL's Current Events, Social Studies, and Science. I'm a member of the band, as well as a participant in HOSA.
Fantastic. Welcome.
My name's Luke Jones, and I am a senior. I'm a captain of the varsity football team. I'm the captain of our FCA huddle at Pioneer. I was the lead prosecuting attorney last year at state for mock trial, and I'm the previous state champion of opening statement for TPSA.
Terrific. Welcome to the team for Sharyland Pioneer in today's Masterminds. Good to have you here. Yeah, you can applaud. That's good. All right, it's time for Hot Topics, Pioneer. You're playing by yourselves on this, okay? Don't need your buzzers. I'll take the first answer we hear from anybody on the team, okay? 3 questions about current events. Here we go. President Trump allowed the release of thousands of documents pertaining to an event which happened more than 50 years ago. What event?
JFK files.
Yes. Catalan's parliament voted recently to declare independence from what nation?
Spain.
Yes. The governor of Puerto Rico has asked that the contract with what company be canceled because it's a distraction and causing even more delays in getting the area's power restored.
Whitefish.
That's correct. 3 out of 3. Well done. Puts you up to 70 points. Good job, Pioneer. Let's meet the team from Lopez. We'll start with Angie.
My name is Angie. I'm a sophomore at Lopez High School. I'm in UIL Science and Social Studies. I am also part of the band and part of HOSA.
Fantastic. Welcome.
My name's Leo. I'm captain for Masterminds. I'm in UIL Science, UIL Social Studies. I'm part of the band. Yeah.
Welcome. Glad you're here.
My name is Mario. I'm a senior at Lopez High School. I'm doing UIL Current Events, UIL Social Studies, and I'm part of the band.
Fantastic. Welcome to the team from Brownsville Lopez in today's Masterminds competition. All right, sorry for your hot topics now. Same thing, 3 questions about current events. Don't worry about your buzzers. Take the first answer we hear from the team. The Cuban government recently released the names of the U.S. diplomats who were treated for health problems after what were called mysterious incidents in Havana. U.S. officials are claiming the diplomats were victims of what kind of attacks? Time was up with sonic attacks. This company has received more than 200 proposals from cities across the continent trying to get their corporate giant to locate their second world headquarters in their cities. What company?
Amazon.
Correct. Actress Heather Lind has accused what former president of touching her inappropriately during a photo op a few years ago?
George Bush.
Which
Senior.
one? Yes, that's correct. Got 2 out of 3 correct. So our score after our first round is Sharyland Pioneer 70, Lopez 50. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it'll be time to meet our teacher coordinators. We'll do quick picks, the grab bag, all that and more. Masterminds will continue right after the break. Welcome back to Masterminds, round 1 competition today. Sharyland Pioneer and Brownsville Lopez. Pioneer holds the lead 70-50 right now. Let's take a moment and meet the teacher coordinators from the 2 schools. We'll start with Pioneer. Christine, you're up.
So this is Mr. Carrizales. He teaches AP Gov, AP Economics, as well as Dual U.S. History, and he coaches current events.
Fantastic. Welcome. Glad you're here. Thanks for being part of the program. We appreciate that. And Brownsville Lopez, Leo.
This is Mr. Kane. He teaches AP Biology. Pre-AP Biology, biology, and he used to teach chemistry. He's coordinator for UIL Science, UIL Social Studies. He coaches current events, somewhat, not officially, and Masterminds.
Fantastic. Welcome. Glad you're here. Thanks for being part of the program. We appreciate our teacher coordinators and make sure the students are ready to go when they get here for the games. All right, students, time now for quick picks. We're going to show you pictures on your TV screen, okay? Ask you questions about each one. You do need your buzzers for this, okay? Everybody's playing. Here we go. This flag belongs to the world's largest nation. Lopez Martin?
Russia.
Yes. If you've earned one of these, in what industry? Pioneer.
Oscar.
Julio. No. In what industry? Lopez, Leo.
Motion film.
I'm sorry?
Motion film.
Motion film? Yeah, I think that'll work. Motion picture industry. We're looking for what industry? This is a zebra. If you call a human being, Lopez, Leo.
Referee.
I'm sorry?
Referee.
That's correct. You're looking at an example of what type of formation? That's Pioneer Luke. Glacier. Yes. This is the water where the USS Arizona was sunk in. Lopez Martin.
Oil.
I'm sorry?
Oil.
That's correct. You already answered it. It's okay, unless you want to go for the next one. Florence is the capital of this region of Italy. Name the region. That's Pioneer Luke.
Naples.
No? Lopez, anybody? Ring in? Tuscany. Ring in? Angie?
Tuscany.
That's correct. In scientific classification terms, what? Lopez Martin.
Arthropod.
Yes. What type of computer cable is this? Lopez Leo.
Ethernet.
I'm sorry?
Ethernet.
Ethernet, that's right. Thanks to this, many vegetarians can eat foods that resemble Lopez Leo.
Soybeans.
Yes. This is Budapest, which is the capital of what country? Lopez Angie. Hungary. That's exactly right, and that wraps up our quick picks for today.
Masterminds is supported in
That
part
was
by
fast.
Navy Army Community Credit Union.
Quick picks. Hardly had a word to even get the questions out, and they were already answering. That's good. All right. Brownsville Lopez in the lead, 140-80 over Sharyland Pioneer. That means Pioneer, you get to go first in the grab bag round. Dr. Work has 3 envelopes from which to choose, 1, 2, and 3. Take any one you'd like. 3. Okay. Get 60 seconds to answer the 10 questions. And you remember, if you don't know once they pass, see, we'll come back this time within the 60 seconds. Your category is what? What? W-H-A-T with a question mark. What? That's all we got to go by, okay? 60 seconds. Here we go. What's the water-filled ditch around a castle called? Say it.
Moat?
Yes. What's the term for a small umbrella used to protect a person from the sun? Parasol? Yes. What's the 16-foot-long wooden beam in gymnastics called?
Pass.
What is the common name for ethylene glycol used in a car during the winter?
Antifreeze.
Say it. Yes. Don't worry about ringing it. Name the camouflage hiding place often used in marshes by duck hunters.
Blind.
Yes. What variety of salami is often served on pizzas?
Pepperoni.
Yes. A wooden device with holes for the head and hands used
Stockade.
for I'm sorry?
Stockade.
Yes. In the old days, a record player was called by the name of what trademark?
Pass.
What do we call the continuous flame that burns in appliances fueled by natural gas?
Propane.
No. What device keeps a downhill ski attached to a ski boot?
Pass.
We'll go back. What's the 16-foot long wooden beam in gymnastics called?
Balance beam.
Yes. In the old days, a record player was called by the name of what trademark?
Vinyl.
No. What device keeps a downhill ski attached to a ski boot?
Clip.
No. And that's it. How many did we get correct, judges? 7 correct, puts you up to 115 points. Let's go over the other ones we didn't get. And it was simply in the old days, a record player was called a gramophone. The continuous flame that burns an appliance is fueled by natural gas as a pilot light. And the device that keeps a downhill ski attached to the boot is the binding. Up to 115 points. Now, Lopez, it's your turn. 2 envelopes remain. Numbers 1 and 2. You can have either one you'd like.
Number 2.
Number 2 it is. Same rules, 60 seconds, 10 questions. Pass if you don't know one. Okay, you don't need your buzzers. Take the first answer we hear. Your category is called Fill in the Blanks, and fill is spelled P-H-I-L. Fill in the blanks. The answer to each clue is a word that begins with the sound fill. For example, humanitarian generosity would be philanthropy. Okay? We've got 10 of these. 60 seconds. Here we go. Cigarette part.
Filter.
Yes. City of brotherly love.
Pass.
Stamp collector.
Pass.
Hazelnut's relative.
Pass.
Pass.
Congressional time-wasting speech.
Filibuster.
Yes. Asian island group.
Philippines.
Yes. Climbing houseplant.
Pass.
Light bulb wire.
Pass.
President after Taylor.
Fillmore.
Yes. To pilfer.
Pass.
We'll go back. City of brotherly love.
Philadelphia.
Yes. Stamp collector.
Pass.
Hazelnut's relative.
Pass.
Climbing houseplant.
Burn.
No. Light bulb wire. There's our bell signaling the end of our time. How many did we get correct, judges? 5 correct. Half of them up to 165 points. Let's go over the others. Stamp collector is a philatelist. Hazelnut's relative is filbert. The climbing houseplant is a philodendron. Light bulb wire was a filament. And to pilfer is to filch. Okay? So you're up to 165 points. 1 envelope remains now, which nobody chose. Envelope numero uno. So we all play on this one, okay? Need your buzzers on this. So let's 60 seconds. The category nobody chose is Earth. All right? Earth. We're all playing. Buzzers required. Here we go. In what kind of feature could a geologist observe a fissure flow and a cinder cone? That's Sharyland.
Volcano.
Yes. What are the end points of the Earth's axis called? Lopez Martin.
Poles.
Yes. How does the moon's gravity affect the oceans? Pioneer Luke.
Tides.
Yes. Spacecraft experiencing re-entry can get very hot due to friction with what? Lopez Angie.
Atmosphere.
Yes. Where in the world would you find an atmospheric pressure of 14.7 pounds per square inch? Lopez Martin.
Peak of Mount Everest.
No. Pioneer Julio.
Mariana Trench.
No, it's sea level. The answer is not California, but what is the most earthquake-ridden state in America? Lopez Angie.
Nevada.
No. Pioneer Julio.
Oklahoma.
No, Alaska. What's the chain of rocks or coral in waters less than 6 fathoms deep called? Sharyland, Pioneer, I'm sorry? Luke, that's correct. Of the Earth's core, mantle, crust, and atmosphere, which is the narrowest? And that's Sharyland, Luke.
Crust.
Yes. From which geological age do we get the most crude oil? Is it Mesozoic, Paleozoic, or Cenozoic? That's Pioneer
Paleozoic.
Luke. No. And time was up. The answer was going to be Mesozoic. All right, so at the end of our grab bag round, it's a good game. Lopez 185, Sharyland Pioneer 155. We're going to take a break. We come back. Art and music will be very important. 20 points per question. Don't go away. Welcome back to Masterminds. Round one competition today. Brownsville Lopez and Sharyland Pioneer. Lopez in the lead, 185 to 155. Now it's time for art and music. We'll start with top art. Ask you to identify the artist or the work. This is for 20 points. The artist or the work of this piece. Pioneer Christine. No. Lopez Leo. Nope, that's Rembrandt. It's called Self-Portrait by Rembrandt. But we have another 20 points with this one. That's Lopez Leo.
Nighthawks.
That's correct, by Edward Hopper. Well done. 1 out of 2 on art. Now let's see how we do on music. Listen very carefully. Identify the composer or the work. This is also for 20 points. Lopez Martin.
Chopin.
No. Pioneer Christine.
Tchaikovsky.
No, this is Rubinstein. It's called Romance. But we have one more. So again, 20 more points on the line. Here we go. Pioneer Christine?
Nutcracker Tchaikovsky.
No. Lopez Leo. This is Strauss. Fledermaus Overture is the name of that. So you had 40 points to your lead. It's now 225 for Lopez. Pioneer 155. We're going to take a break. We come back. It'll be time for the final stretch. We'll see which one of these teams moves on to the next round of competition. Don't go away. Welcome back to Masterminds. Great game today between Lopez and Sharyland Pioneer. 225 to 155. Lopez in the lead. It's time for the final stretch. Last question, still the bell rings. When that happens, the game's over. We'll find out who's moving on to the next round. Here we go. Everybody plays. Hands on your buzzers. Originally known as Acropolis, the city drew attention in 1957 when federal troops were dispatched to enforce the desegregation of public schools. Named this capital city. Sharyland, Luke.
Montgomery.
No? Lopez, anyone? Leo.
Birmingham.
No, it's Little Rock. Large fat globules are broken up by which fluid from the liver? Sharyland Pioneer, Julio.
Bile.
Yes. After what incident in the Crimean War did Pierre Bosquet declare, "It is magnificent, but it is not war"? Then time's up. The charge of the Light Brigade. American folktales portray him as a black man, enormously strong, who worked on railroads and died from exhaustion after he outperformed a steam drill in a contest. Lopez Martin.
Sorry.
No, time is up. Pioneer, anybody? Name him was the rest of the question. American folktales portray him as a black man, enormously strong, who worked on railroads and died from exhaustion after he outperformed a steam drill in a contest. Name him. Then time is up. It was John Henry. That's where you're going. Which book of the Bible is named for a man whose name means persecuted in Hebrew? All right, Pioneer Luke.
John.
No. Lopez, anybody? All right, Angie.
Abraham?
No, it's Job or Job. Utah had to change its stance on which issue before it was allowed to become a state? Pioneer Luke.
Polygamy.
Yes. In the 1964 film Goldfinger, who did 007 say would replace him if he were killed? That's Pioneer Julio.
009.
No. Lopez, anybody? Leo.
Q.
No, it's 008. Close. Why do trash trucks that serve prisons make it a policy to roll over and churn garbage before leaving the prisons? That's Pioneer Luke.
Escaped inmates.
Yes, so inmates wouldn't escape with the garbage. Define and spell prehensile. That's Lopez, Angie.
Prehensil.
No. Pioneer, anybody? All right, Christine.
Prehensile.
And define it?
Before a statement.
No, the spelling was correct, but it means capable of grasping. Capable of grasping. What is the circumference of a circle whose radius is 6 over pi? And time is up. 12. That's what you're going to say, right? 12. In which quadrant is the abscissa of a point negative and the ordinate of the point positive? Pioneer Luke.
Second.
Yes. Who said, if my theory succeeds, Germany will say I am a German. If it fails, they'll say I'm a Jew. That's Pioneer Julio.
Adolf Hitler.
No. Lopez Leo.
Albert Einstein.
Yes. The Kuwaiti oil fires in 1991 were very bad for the environment because the Kuwaiti oil is particularly sour, laced with a contaminating element which, when burned, causes acid rain. Name this non-metallic. Pioneer Christine.
Sulfur.
Yes. Among his extraordinary creations were an inch-high statue of Peter the Great, a foot-long scale model of the Siberian Railroad Express, and a dazzling array of tiny animals, furniture, Cossacks, and gypsies. Who was this imaginative Russian jeweler of French descent? Pioneer Christine.
Rasputin.
No. Lopez? Anybody? And time's up. Peter Carl Fabergé. Quetzalcoatl, a god of the Toltecs and Aztecs, comprised two animals. What two animals were merged in this Mexican god?
A serpent and a bird.
Say that again?
A serpent and a bird.
Yes, a rattlesnake and a bird. What is the U.S. counterpart to the Bundesbank of Germany? Pioneer Julio.
Deutsche Bank.
No? Lopez, anybody? Time is up. The Federal Reserve. Which of these events did not occur in the year 1876? Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Baseball's National League was founded. Colorado became a state. Stanley found Livingstone. Lopez, Angie.
The baseball team was not
No.
fine.
Pioneer, anybody? Okay, Luke.
Colorado became a state.
Nope, Stanley found Livingstone. How many cups are there in a stick of butter? Pioneer Luke.
Half.
Yes. A paralyzing fixation on one's inadequacies is which type of complex? Lopez, Angie.
Compound complex.
No? Sharyland, Christine.
Could you repeat the question?
Not after you've rung in. And time
And
is
then-
inferiority
yeah.
is what it is, inferiority complex. Identify both the continent and the century represented by most of the works in the standard repertoire of major symphony orchestras. Identify both the continent and the century represented by most of the works in the standard repertoire of major symphony orchestras. Lopez Martin.
18th century Europe.
Say that again?
18th century Europe.
No, that's not correct. Pioneer Luke.
17th century Europe.
That was 19th century Europe. What is the innumerable caravan? In this line from William Cullen Bryant. So live that when my summons comes to join the innumerable caravan. Sharyland Luke.
And death.
Yes, that's correct. That ties the score. In research writing, one often comes upon an abbreviation for the Latin word videlicet, which means namely. What's abbreviation? What's the abbreviation of this word?
IESP.
I'm sorry?
IESP.
No? In research writing, one often comes upon abbreviation for the Latin word videlicet, which means namely. What's the abbreviation for this word? All right, Martin?
I.E.
No, it's V-I-Z. V-I-Z. Enthalpy, entropy, energy, or empathy. Which of those terms does not belong with the others? That's Sharyland Christine.
Empathy.
Correct. Math question. To the nearest tenth, find the area of a circle inscribed in a square with sides 4 feet in length. To the nearest tenth, find the area of a circle inscribed in a square with sides 4 feet in length. And time is up. 12.6 square feet. Bromine is a chemical element which at room temperature is a dark red liquid. Its atomic weight is 79.909. What's its atomic number? Sharyland Luke.
78.
No? Lopez, anybody? Ring in if you know. All right, Leo.
76.
That's 35. Pliny the Younger, in a letter to the historian Tacitus, described what man's death at the destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum? Lopez, Angie.
Julius Caesar.
No? Find anybody? Not anymore. Julio?
Alexander.
That was Pliny the Elder. Translate into English. It is all the mornings of the world. Translated into English. It is all the mornings of the world. Give me this motion picture title in the original French. And time is up. Tous les matins du monde was the name of that. And there's a bell signaling the end of our game, and it was another terrific game. Our final score is Sharyland Pioneer 245, Brownsville Lopez 235. That means Pioneer, you're moving on to the next round of competition. What a great game. Give all of our participants a big round of applause today for doing such a terrific job. I want to thank our judges here once again, Dr. Burke and Dr. Rivetta. Thank you for your work. All right, Pioneer, we'll see you in the next round. We'll see you at home next week for another exciting competition of Masterminds. Good job, y'all.
So that all students may benefit.